Greetings. Welcome to CRWS, R.I.P.S, Racism in Plain Sight, a broadcast designed to show victims of racism and white supremacy exactly how this system works and what it is visually through the many incorrect content that I have stumbled upon. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this content if you feel it is of constructive value. And if you are wanting to replace this system with a system of justice, guaranteeing no one is mistreated and those who need help receive constructive help. That is our goal here, to motivate people to get serious about serious things. And we will not solve any problems on planet Earth if we continue to be dominated by a racist man and racist woman. So I'm just going to get us started with our first clip. I've had this on my computer for a while, but I keep forgetting to share it. But it's really telling and really incorrect, disturbing, evil.
As you can see, they really match the color of the mask very well, and they don't really look that big, so you can really get away with it. Also had Wes give me a little bit of a arm tattoo on this one, and wearing a watch. One of the great things about this is the dexterity that the gloves provide. I was able to pick a coin up off the top of a desk, and I've also been able to lift off a coin from the bottom of the floor. So these are perfect. They look really great. They are pretty high. As you can see, they almost go to the elbow, and these are great stuff. I've been waiting to get a pair of gloves that were a little smaller than the regular ones, so these are considered a smaller size. And
Snickers. Nobody fucking wants Snickers. No one wants.
All right. Let me go back really quickly.
As you can see.
Okay, so what we have here is a suspected white supremacist wearing a really realistic looking mask of a black male. He even has a gloves that go up to his elbow to resemble black hands. Now I remember seeing something similar to this many years ago, and of white people dressing up as black males with these sort of masks and going out and killing black people. Now this should be very alarming for people to see. Why he said he said something along the lines like this could work, or this could get the job done, something like that. And I suspect he's talking about committing crimes while wearing this costume. And I'm just reminded of Chicago, of all those black males being killed over there, and black females as well. I'm sure. I suspect that some of those people doing the killings could possibly be white people dressed up as black people, as we see here, because this is very realistic looking. What other purpose could this be for? Is this just a giant well-seen moment and this white man wanting to cosplay, role play as a black male? Or is he dressing up as this as a black person to go out and misbehave? I think it's the latter. Sir, would you like to
I agree. This should be very alarming. It's not my first time seeing one of these. I remember there was a case not that long ago of some white males dressing up as black males and robbing banks. They also had a black person bodysuit in the film Good Time by the Safdie brothers, starring Robert Patterson. And in that film, they rob a bank dressed as black people. And I'm 100% certain that many of these suits exist, and they're primarily purchased by white people, men, white men who are definitely white supremacists, if not suspected to be white supremacists. And he did say this could work. I think he was implying that this could work when going out committing crimes or going out and potentially going to a black neighborhood and doing a drive-by. No one's gonna suspect a white person in a black suit. They're gonna just think it was a black male due to the criminalization of black males. It's very easy to believe. Oh, you got a couple of dead black kids, drive-by shooting. That must have been one of the gangs around here. So it really just does nothing but perpetuate the stereotypes of, black people in general. Should be alarming. I don't know. I guess we need to counter this somehow. But it's just I'm not really sure how to counter it. In the ways that I do know how, I won't be speaking about it publicly. So
yeah, this great memory remembering this film Good Time, which is just racist propaganda to the max, this film here. But as you can see on the screen, you see the white man inside the costume of the video we just watched, and you see here to the right scenes from Good Time where he's wearing a black suit, black mask, black face, and this time it's not just blackface to entertain, it's blackface to commit crimes and put the blame on black people, which is kind of like how the system works. One of the ways the system works is that white people have often committed atrocities, are often seen committing patterns of incorrect things, killing, robbing, stealing, raping, and then blaming all of that incorrect behavior on black people. People who classify themselves as white are the biggest rapists, the biggest thieves, and biggest murderers on the planet. But all those stereotypes of those behaviors are attached to black people. So this is how the system works. White people do all the incorrect things, they commit all the atrocities, but they have conditioned the entire system, the entire globe, to view black people as the biggest criminals, the biggest rapists, the biggest thieves, when it's actually white people who have a historic record, a tradition of doing these things. So Good Time is simply film, but this guy on the left, he's a very refined, I suspect, refined racist white supremacist, and he is communicating to his fellow racists out there that, hey, this works. We could do this. We can go out and kill black people wearing these, and no one will be the wiser. No one will be the wiser. And very alarming. We having Smoking Damages join us. Excellent. I'm gonna play the next clip. I'm gonna play this at a higher playback, so hopefully it's not detected, because we were off the air for a week because a clip played by a there was a clip I had, and it was a homosexual white man calling a black female nigger bitch over and over, and that clip got us banned for hate speech, which is really incorrect because the channel does not promote hate or attempt to spread hate. So YouTube, if you're observing, do not ban this channel for spreading the truth. This is simply commentary on white people who are using this language. I am not spreading hate or attempting to spread hate, and this information should be I should be allowed to share this information. But I'm gonna play. I'm gonna take the risk. Actually, I'm gonna come back to this one because I think what I said about the entire planet being just trained to view Black people as the criminals, just entire planet being trained to mistreat Black people. I have a great example of that. It is going to be very hard to watch for the folks who are a little bit less informed on how this system works, but this is something that I've come to expect. Let me find the clip, and then I'll go back to that one. Let me see. Where did it go? Hold on, let me. Smoky Diamond, did you have any comments on the white man wearing the black cosmetics?
Do you know what? I was just kind of thinking, really, can you imagine the amount of crimes in theory that people who are classified as white probably got away with down through the years? I mean, the world is just being so conditioned towards anti-blackness anyway for so many years, and I'm just theorizing the amount of crimes that people classified as white must have gotten away with. Wow, the mind the mind boggles when you really think about it, because obviously people are so willing to readily believe that Black people are just the most violent beings on the face of the planet anyway, so it wouldn't be that much of a stretch of imagination to just throw something out there in the news, and just, if you want to go and, I don't know, you want to bump off your wife or something, you want to bump off your husband, just blame it on a Black person, blame it on a Black man or something. And it's always like something, and a Black man was seen running from the scene and blah, blah, blah. And it's readily believed all the time. Many times I've seen that, lots of, and there's a lot of white females that are particularly known for doing that type of stuff. Like, yeah, it was a Black man that did this, and it was a Black man that did this, and the Black man tried to rape me, or tried to, do all that type of stuff. So yeah, it's not. It's modern day blackface by a white supremacy racist man or racist woman, but obviously with the added bonus of committing crimes and getting away with it. Sad.
Yeah, correct. And or you reminded me of I forget, it's going around, it's making the rounds, but there was a white woman who accused a Black male of rape, and she pointed out the wrong person in the police lineup. And even though she pointed out the wrong person in the lineup, the person she accused was still spent like about, I think, 2 minutes. He spent a number of years in greater confinement, and he got out of greater confinement because it turns out, what was that?
16 years in greater confinement.
Yeah, he spent 16 years in greater confinement because a white woman thought that he was the person that raped her, even though he did not rape her. And that just goes to show you that, yeah, Black males very easily
white female's word is good enough.
Yep, exactly. And he's so confused that he got out, and he calls her the victim. He forgives her, and he calls her the victim.
What?
So,
what did he say? Is that what he said? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I can only imagine he's probably saying stuff like, women have a hard time in this country and blah, 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 including white women in the same breath as he's talking about victims of racism, white supremacy as well, probably. Very, very sad and predictable.
and this super refined blackface we have here on the screen reminds me of another movie called Smoking Aces. There was a white hitman who dressed up as a black male, paraplegic black male with locks to assassinate their target. So, yeah, this has been in the system for a while. I'm sure this is crazy. This is really racism in plain sight to the max. Black people need to be aware that
Yeah, very familiar with that Smoking Aces film. I didn't even remember that. Thanks for reminding us about that. 0526. I've completely forgot about that scene in there. Yeah, it's a black guy with dreadlocks coming out of a van. Was he in a wheelchair or something like that, or he's walking across the street or something like that, and he just opens fire and then runs at the back of some garbage truck or something and gets away. Yeah, wow. Okay, I've completely forgot about that.
Yeah. So, all right, I found the clip. Keep in mind, like, system of race and white supremacy has trained everyone to be okay in mistreating black people. Get a thrill out of mistreating black people. And keep in mind that the black male is the most impotent and powerless creature on the planet. So keep in mind when we watch this 30 seconds of incorrectness, misbehaving. I don't know if there's a full screen on this platform. I guess there isn't a full screen, so we just have to watch it like this. So we have a black male in a wheelchair, probably can't walk, probably handicapped in some manner, getting attacked by a bunch of non-black, maybe white, or people who are classified as non-white, but definitely non-black people. And he's also getting robbed during this. And this is exactly what the system produces. This is exactly what the system encourages. I'm pretty sure if this black male was not wheelchair bound, these people would not have had the courage to attack this black male in that manner. But because they perceive him to be weak, and they clearly understand him to be powerless, they felt no problem to attack him in this manner. And there's even a non-black, possibly white female joining in on the assault. So this is what it means to be a black person in the system. No one is trained to want to treat you correctly. No one is trained to really have sympathy or compassion or empathy for you. Everyone, in all areas of people activity, especially area 3, we're getting messages to, hey, attack black, harm black, keep black at the bottom. And this is what that looks like. Destruction. This reminds me of Destruction in Black Self, the code book, everything wrapped into one. Like, black people have no friends. Friends do not exist if you are a black person.
True. I mean, black males and black females. Yeah, black males, black females, bottom of the slave ship together at the end of the day, where black slaves are equal, black victims are equal. We're always being encouraged by a racist man and racist woman to point out the differences. Yes, there are differences in how we're treated in terms of gender, but in terms of being victims of racism, white supremacy, black males and black females are equal. Equal in our degradation, equal in our victimization, under a racist system. You know, just for non-white people watching, don't let the white supremacists try and pit black males against black females, and let us fight for the scraps that racist man and racist woman throw us, and they say, like, you know, now we're battling against black women and black women are battling against black men. The only people that win are racist woman and racist man.
Before I
Yeah,
continue,
not surprised at all by what I'm seeing. Uh, quite relieved that the people are non-black people. But you could tell that they're existing as, in their mind, gangsters or thugs or, you know, city boys or whatever you want to call terminology these days. Very tragic. Yeah, this reminds me of when I was walking. I was in my hometown, South Central LA. I was walking home, middle of the night, and some white looking Mexicans started following me, and it was two males and two females, and the females were like the encouraging the males to attack me. I just kept walking, and of course they didn't attack me. But it's just that energy to want to attack black folk. It's definitely a real thing. It's gonna get worse as time moves forward. I would think it's a good idea for black folks to start arming themselves, you know, as soon as possible. Actually,
well said, everyone. All right, continuing. All right, let's do this one.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me!
I am, whoa, I am not touching you. You are touching my
You're
packages.
really upsetting me right now. You're really upsetting me.
Oh,
No, just
no, you
back
can't leave
off.
with that. What is your name?
my name is none of your beeswax.
Is it the name on the package? What is your name? Let's look. Let's look.
Don't
what is your
touch
name?
my stuff.
Don't look at the package. Tell me your name.
My name is Kate.
Your name is Kate?
Yes.
My name is Kate. You
Oh,
just got
really?
that from the
You're
package.
just making stuff up now. Move
Oh
out of my
gosh.
way.
No. Get back. Hey. Get back here right now.
These are my things.
They're
now.
not your things. Your name is not Kate. My name is Kate.
I'm gonna
You're
call the
stealing
police.
packages.
I'm gonna call the police if you don't back up right now.
You're gonna call the police?
Mhm.
No, I'm gonna call the police. Give me that package. You cannot leave with these things. No.
This
Oh,
wasn't.
this is so crazy. What are you doing? This is my house. Show me your ID. Let me see your ID.
You're
What is your name?
All right, so yeah, the biggest thieves on the planet, manipulators, the biggest deceivers on the planet are people who classify themselves as white and practice racism. Case in point here, we have little white on white altercation. But yeah, we were, and also a lot of people may like to make excuses for this white woman and saying that she's crazy or whatnot. And I don't even know if it's even correct to call white people crazy in the system that they maintain and that they have organized themselves behind. Everyone is insane within the system of white supremacy. So being crazy or insane is no excuse for a white person. They have often used that labeling to get away with the behaviors that they get away with the incorrect behavior patterns that we observe them doing. They always are able to say, "Oh, this person is crazy, has mental health issues." Everyone has mental health issues within the system of white supremacy racism. So I don't think she's a crazy white person. I just think this is a white person doing what they want to do, and this is what they want to do. Comments?
yeah, man, biggest thieves entire universe, still entire planets, still bodies, still minds, just whatever that is physical and non-physical in the universe. The people classified as white have the power to control and take it. Very unfortunate. Always interesting watching Yorubians interact with each other. It seems that they just hate everything and everyone, and they're just anti-life beings. This is a really insane video. She's claiming these packages even though they're clearly not hers, and she's totally comfortable doing it. And the other white female is just recording her, and I guess she's now a Karen. They're gonna go ahead and call this person a Karen versus calling her a racist suspect or a confirmed, racist white supremacist. But yeah, very interesting video. A bit quirky, like a sitcom in a way.
This is what's so wrong about using that word Karen, I guess, because even when it's so-called white on white crime, etc., the white person is still called a Karen. Karen's become this universal term just for white women that commit crime. That's what's so deceptive about that term. If a white person's practicing racism, white supremacy, then that's what they're doing in this. I mean, it's always interesting sometimes when they're doing these types of crimes as well. If when they come before the judge, like you say, it's quite easy for them to make this sort of excuse about, oh, this person's mentally challenged, etc., is going through some depression or they're on medication, etc. But the really interesting thing is usually to see how many chances they've had in life. Because I suspect this is not the first time that she's gone and stolen packages like that from outside someone's doorstep. So it'd be quite interesting to see how many times she's got caught and how many times she's just been allowed to get away with it. Maybe a little slap on the wrist, maybe a community service, probably not even that, like one or two little, like couple $5 fines and stuff like that, and being allowed to just go out there and just commit some more crimes. Black people, black males, black females, or even black children, they'll just call the police on you, and you're gonna have a real bad criminal record for the rest of your life. You're probably gonna get in jail first chance you get.
Yeah, for me that video is interesting. Trajan had said something when he was when he was leaving, and he said something about it was like watching a sitcom. That was a performance. All white people do. Like, it's no immediate danger. It's not part of the code, so they just play along with it. Even though they're recording, nothing incriminating will be said or actual display of her behavior being actually corrected how it should be. She was allowed to perform as all Karens do, and that's exactly what white supremacy does. It makes jokes out of their behavior, which if this was a person a non-white person talking or being recorded, especially by someone of authority, within 3 seconds of them talking, they would have been taught to put their hands up, with their hands on the ground, or some form of authority that actually supposed to demean their character or person. But this was just a performance, a waste of time, as they do. And Karen's being made into a movie, and that shows you how white supremacy deals with itself. It creates legacy out of it. No actual criminal justice being put in place for the criminalizing behavior. And then I'll leave that to the next clip. It's probably more of the same stuff.
Thank you all for your input, and welcome Ms. Williams and Mr. Evolutionist for Justice. Let's go to what's been in the news lately. I guess let me set this up right next to this picture, actually.
As investigators piece together what led up to this tragedy, we are learning more about the suspect, Ethan Crumbley. 7 investigator Heather Catallo is digging into the 15-year-old's background, and Heather joins us now with what she has learned so far. Heather?
Carolyn, I'm in the village of Oxford right now where the suspect lives. And just like sheriff's officials, police here telling me they had no advance warning about this attack. But we are now learning some very concerning information that school officials met with this. Ethan Crumbley faced a judge Wednesday, just a day after he's accused of gunning down his classmates at Oxford High School. As detectives search for clues about what led up to the shootings, the Oakland County Sheriff confirming what the 7 investigators have been learning from several sources, that Oxford High School officials met with the teen and his parents about concerning behavior just hours before the shooting.
We had no information from the schools, but we have since learned that the schools did have contact with the student the day before and the day of the shooting for behavior in the classroom that they felt was concerning. In fact, the parents were brought in the morning of the shooting and had a face-to-face meeting with the school.
Sheriff Michael Bouchard not revealing the topics discussed during that meeting, only that his liaison officer in the school was not told about it. Bouchard also confirming the school allowed Crumbley to stay in the building after that 10 a.m. meeting, and around 12:50 p.m., the shooting started. The sheriff previously acknowledged that a handgun shown on a social media account that's believed to belong to the suspect is the same type of weapon used in the murders. But law enforcement are also telling us the 15-year-old has no prior school discipline issues and no prior criminal record.
We had no prior context, and we had no prior information that this incident would occur. We haven't had any issues with that family or any weapons in the past.
The sheriff also telling us they're now going through mountains of evidence, including notebooks, the suspect's phone, as they try to piece together exactly what motivated this horrific attack. Live in Oxford, I'm Heather Catallo, 7 Action News. Now let's check in with my colleague, 7 investigator Ross Jones, with more on what the sheriff had to say today.
Heather, good evening. Sheriff Bouchard spent much of his press conference today trying to dispel many rumors that have been circulated on social media, separating fact from fiction one day after this horrific mass shooting. Now, Sheriff Bouchard said that there was no record that the suspect had been bullied at Oxford High School or had reported any bullying behavior. There was also no history of any discipline by the school. The sheriff said there was no evidence that the 15-year-old sophomore had sought treatment for any mental health conditions and was not in the process of doing so. And Bouchard said he has viewed the horrifying surveillance video inside of the school, saying it appears that victims were shot at randomly and were not specifically targeted. He did not release any of that video today, but described the evidence prosecutors will be using in court.
He came out of the bathroom, began shooting, moved through hallways and back through hallways, and was apprehended in the hallway. Never went into a room. If you weren't hit by a bullet, doesn't mean you weren't terrorized that day and won't have nightmares about it the rest of your life. Whether you're a parent, a teacher, or a student in that class. Going through that building in the wee hours of this morning, looking at the disarray in the classrooms and the backpacks strewn across the floor, that had to have been an absolutely terrorizing moment in anyone's life.
The shooter fired 30 rounds inside of the school and still had 18 bullets left when he was confronted by deputies. There is no consolation for victims' families tonight, but this could have been much worse. Carolyn?
I can almost guarantee that what motivated this was the system of racism and white supremacy, and this Mr. Ethan Crumbley being a racist white supremacist. So here we have where is that? I just got lost in all the stuff I have on the screen. Okay, so this is some of his art, Ethan Crumbley. But before I talk about that, I want to mention this Daily Mail post article. Bullied teen Ethan Crumbley, 15, is identified as the Michigan high school shooter who gunned down 4 classmates with his father 9mm after flaunting it on Instagram. And the 9mm, I believe this is a German handgun as well. So In this screenshot, we can see the first picture being a target. That could have been like a little hint. And there was a little video, I'm sure, circulating around of him probably discussing his plans. But this is from his Instagram. You can see the photography is very telling. Very telling, portraying Black people as disfigured creatures, or non-entities, or there's even like a Black person here being it looks like choked or something. And then juxtapose that with the Daily Mail post. He's a innocent white child praying. So this is how the system works. It will portray mass murderers, serial killers such as white people as just troubled people who were also victims, victims of bullying, and that is what caused these massacres. But Black people 24/7 are liable to be mistreated simply for being Black, being mistreated with bullets being shot at us, being mistreated by thrown in greater confinement for any reason or no reason at all, being mistreated by not having access to food, being mistreated by not having access to our own anything. So very, very telling. And yeah, I'm sure there was warning signs. And the mother of Ethan Crumbley actually wrote a letter to Trump for Trump's stance on gun rights. So how did a 15-year-old have access to a handgun? We live in a system of white supremacy, and they have that power to have access to whatever they want. So I think that's how. Yeah, I think I'll mute my line and see what folks have to say about this.
Yeah, I saw the videos. Okay. You want to jump in for Justice?
Somebody else got to go first.
I'll go first now. So I saw some of the videos from Mr. Crumbly. Very, very interesting. I wanted to mention also the distorted images of Black people, including the image on his 9-day countdown. He said, I could be incorrect, but it seems like there are a few days that he gave warning to what he was gonna do. And I've been saying it since I first learned about the system. All school shootings are a direct result of the system of racism, white supremacy. School shootings will always be a problem on planet Earth until racism, white supremacy is replaced with justice. And justice is simply a system guaranteeing no one is mistreated and those who deserve help receive help, especially Black people who are in desperate need of the most help. So I look forward to the next school shooting. It's unfortunate that this thing continues to happen. But very, 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 very too big to be expected. No tears lost, on to the next one.
From the beginning, they wanted to use an old tactic that they used to use, the racists that wrote about the story in the Washington Post. Detroit suburb is what they wanted to classify it as. Last time I went to Oxford, I played sports against them back in 1992. Was the first time they had a Black player. We ended up having to play them in a playoff game, and he ran like 200 yards against us, of course. And that was when Oxford was 99.999% white. Now it's about 98.9%. But I know in the Washington Post, the first two stories that showed up today They wanted to put Detroit in big letters, and they showed one of the boys wearing the Detroit Red Wings hat. That, in my opinion, that's just a guilt by association. So that in a couple years, they'll say, Metro Detroit had X amount of shootings. This is the most one deadliest XYZ. But it'll look on paper like, see, those niggers are a problem. He shot all white people. He's white. Everybody there is white. I'm sure nobody black even heard a bullet being discharged from a live round being discharged. So they want to associate it with immediately. One of the things Amos Wilson wrote about is that when psychiatrists, psychologists, and all those in the so-called social help professions, when they don't want to admit that the context of white supremacy is the cause of all these diseases, they get obsessed with trying to diagnose. Oh, he must be bullying, or it must have been warning signs. They want to give any other reason other than that's a white boy doing what white boys do. Sometimes they sacrifice themselves for the cause to reiterate why they are what they are and what they do. So old school racist garbage, and subtly they're starting to, again, creep into the minds of victims. Now we're going to talk again about gun control. We're going to talk again about bullying and talk again about safety in schools. And all these are symptoms of a problem that is not going away with words of legislature or writing down words on paper. And we all know who they are, hiding in plain sight. So we just have to be careful not to discuss these things on their terms or on the terms of victims who are more confused. Don't have the conversation, shut them down. Shut them down with, something from the code. If you don't understand white supremacy racism, what it is and how it works, everything I try to make you understand about this shooting, it'll just confuse you. So let's not even talk about it.
I wonder if his social media is being scrubbed of the probably, I'd say, inevitable white supremacist quote unquote jokes that he was making down through the years as well. And also some of the questions that they're not asking, why was he apprehended alive? I mean, in that report there, it said that he had bullets left. He had bullets left in that gun and he was apprehended alive. I doubt probably if he was classified as black, if he probably would have been apprehended alive. And also about the bullying, there's one report there saying that there's no evidence that he was bullied, and another report saying that that he was bullied. They'll just make excuses. Other questions: why are white children being taught about what it means to be white in a system of racism, white supremacy? I bet they're probably not going to be asking that type of question. And they're probably not going to ask the same question that they never asked: why are so many of the school shooters white? Like, why are they white? Why is it such a prevalence? If it was that many black students that were doing that, like so-called going wild, shooting up schools, with the type of frequency that white children seem to be doing that, and probably there'd be definitely more of a question. And also, if it was probably a black child of the same age, they'd probably try and adultify him and call him a black male or something. They'll probably say this black man, almost wanting to say this black brute did this type of stuff. So me Molen.
Yeah, this is also an example of white sacrifices. With this white man, Ethan Crumley, seems like he sacrificed 3 white people and wounded another. And what they said, this is going to continue as long as we are in a system of white supremacy. It also reminds me of what Dr. Francisco Wilson was talking about in regards to ever since Obama has been in administration, just the sale of arms to white people, ammunition to white people has been rampant. And yeah, this is incredible. To be expected. They're just getting younger and younger. It seems like white supremacy does an excellent job at training white people to. I don't know if it's training them to be killers, or is it just that racist white people are already innately natural born killers, and the gun, the great equalizer, just allows them to do it with great efficiency. And yeah, and it's all I'm thinking back at the news article video where he's in the bulletproof vest. They always have them in bulletproof vests, and he was handcuffed. If he was handcuffed at all, it was handcuffed into the front. So they always get that leniency when they are brought in for these horrendous crimes. But if it was a black person, he'd have just the waist chains around him. He would be chained behind his back. Probably wouldn't have a bulletproof vest on either.
He'll be getting the Hannibal Lecter treatment, like with the
Exactly. So, well, it'll be interesting to see how this case follows up. I hear he's being tried as a adult, which is correct, but let's see if he gets the electric chair or the death penalty, which he should get.
I have a theory. I think that more and more people classified as white are realizing that because of their inbreeding, some of these children who come out and are taught to be white supremacists, they're a ticking time bomb from day one. I've been around numerous white children where white adults state they're afraid of them. And they're incorrigible. They still strive to give them a great life, get them in great colleges and gifted programs, and they just become terrorists, psychopaths, hidden in plain sight until they do something. But I think more and more they're like, listen, just going out there and do what you're gonna do. You're not gonna wait till you're 27 and we're gonna have a long line of Jeffrey Dahmer story. Just go kill some, and we'll sit down and say we're sorry. Get it out. That's what I believe the roof was. If you just look at it, that's what Kyle Rittenhouse was supposed to be. He just didn't run across those niggas that night. These are white children who they've been taught a form of racism that their leaders, the people who made them know, this little mug, he ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it long. So they offer him up.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd advise everybody to go and check out the film. I think it's called "We Need to Talk About Kevin." It stars Tilda Swinton. If anyone non-white people haven't seen that film, I would advise everybody to go and check out that film. It's called "We Need to Talk About Kevin." Please go watch that film. Excellently acted, I have to say, and it gives great insight. I suspect that the parents in this live case, they knew, like Evolutionary for Justice, they knew that he was a problem and he was a so-called ticking time bomb and he was about to explode at some point. They just didn't want to be around when it happened, but it was always going to happen.
Yeah, and also you remember from they had a teachers conference regarding this student's behavior, Ethan's behavior. And if it was a black student, he would have got suspended. He would have been probably expelled for whatever it was that Ethan was doing. But because he has that white power, he was allowed to have this teacher conference, our parent meeting, and then still go to the classroom. I've never have had to.
Black boys get it in their mind. You already out of there. If you get it in your mind, they can see it a long way because we talk. We're really cowards and we're weak, so we'll talk a long time before we do the shooting. I'm gonna shoot you, and on the first, second time, you out of there. Because we really don't want to shoot nobody. We want to be shot. That's why we're not doing it in droves.
Yeah, precise. I've never have been. There's never been a time where my victim mother had to come to the school with me to talk to anybody where I was allowed to stay there. I've always, okay, you did your parent meeting, time to go home. You're still suspended. You're still in trouble. You know, but
exactly.
Yeah. Ms. Williams.
Peaceful greetings. Can I be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wasn't sure. I had not heard of this case, but just a bunch of red flags go off when I'm hearing it. One is that it seems like at most of these shootings of these white males are in the high school area. And it seems like that it's becoming an epidemic to the point that the people who are in charge of these schools probably need to put some programs in place that by the time they hit high school, that this is mandatory, because it seems like most of these shootings are taking place at the high school level. I'm not saying that they may not have thought it in middle school, but it seems like by the time they hit high school, they are much more braver to do these acts. And then I look at the fact that there was a conference the day before. They don't want to tell you what the problem was, but it had to be bad enough that the parents were called in. So that red flag itself should have, and if it had been a suspension, this probably wouldn't have happened. Or at least it wouldn't have happened at the school. And then I'm looking at the day of the shooting, 2 hours before the shooting, they having another meeting. But how was he able to be in a meeting with them and already have a weapon on the school property? He didn't leave and go get the weapon. The weapon was there. So it shows that they're not doing an accurate job of policing these guns that are able to come into these schools. Now, I've seen shooters in the past where they brought the gun in on the premises, but evidently, I mean, of the time of the shooting, but it seems like this guy already had the gun there, and then they have a meeting with him 2 hours before he enacts what he's already thinking about doing. But nobody thought to send him even home at that time, because if they had sent him home then, this probably wouldn't have happened again at the school. I'm not saying it wouldn't have happened anywhere, because this is seems like an individual with serious issues. And I do agree that the parents were aware of this. There's no way you could have this type of behavior just jumping out all of a sudden and you didn't know the behavior of your child. And then the father not securing the weapon where the child could even go and be posting it on IG. Now I think about Facebook always trying to put people in Facebook jail for so-called pictures. Like you may post something about somebody hanging people from the past, right? The lynchings.
Ms. Williams, just so you know, his dad bought him the gun.
His dad bought him the gun. That was his dad's
Correct.
gun, though.
His dad bought the gun for the child.
So whose gun was it?
The child's.
Oh, wow. I thought I heard them say that it was the father's gun. Wow. But anyway, what kind of gift is that to buy a 15-year-old? But in the system of race and white supremacy, it's the number one gift with a bow. But it's just too much. And it seems like it's at the high school level that most of these shootings are taking place. So I know the system of race and white supremacy is not really concerned about them shooting people, but the point of it is, it seems like this could have been preventable. It really could have been if people had paid attention to the red flags. But I just find it just dreadful that a person would take out this type of rage on anybody, not depending on what color you are. But the point of it is that what kind of rage is in you that you have to feel this is the way to handle any problem or something that you're having. So it seems like it should be a better way to start educating these whites on this pandemic that they have going on in their high schools. I'm mute.
me of
You know, I was just thinking that they're never ever going to solve that problem because they don't want to solve this particular type of problem. And I suspect that there's quite a few white supremacists that are laughing to themselves and see these younger white people as the new fangled sort of do dirt warriors that are not, you know, they're not afraid to get their hands dirty and go and shoot up the place, because white supremacy is becoming a little bit more, it's refined, but you know, it's becoming a little more overt at the same time. So a lot of them are becoming a little bit more brave, and I suspect a lot, like some white supremacists are probably looking at people like the Kyle Rittenhouse and the Dylan Roof and this latest incident as well, that these people are like the, you know, they're the new type of fellow soldiers that are not going to be afraid to go into the streets and start shooting up these niggas. Probably that's my theory anyway.
Yeah, I can't say that Ethan Crumley had any sort of rage in his being. I suspect he's just on an assignment, and just to attempt to put on my Welsing lens, he says, I got my new beauty today, referring to his gun. You know, and if you understand the gun as the great equalizer, you know, son of a gun, you know, the gun has replaced the white penis. So his dad got him something he's always wanted, a big black penis in the form of a gun, and he was ready. He couldn't wait to use it. He couldn't wait to cock that, you know, cock that gun and let it shoot. You know, so I think he was just on assignment, and he put that great equalizer to use.
Yeah, I would really like to know the the programming that this that Ethan Crumley has watched. When I say programming, I'm talking about TV, film, music, books, comics. I want to know what he was up to prior to all these things. I do strongly believe that he has watched movies like Elephant, The Dirties, films about school shootings. I do believe he was following the Columbine people. He would like probably worship them and research their videos a lot, because there just seems to be a cycle or a trend where these school shooters get younger, but they follow in the footsteps of the Columbine shooters. So I suspect all of this news to be coming out as the trial begins, whenever it begins. But yeah, I don't think he was angry at all. I think he was doing what he wanted to do. Maybe he was slighted a few times at school, but I doubt he had a kill list or anything. He just wanted to kill all white people at some point in time. Just want to kill, I suspect, if not 24/7.
You know, I suspect he picked it up by osmosis. I think that some of them, they pick up all their white supremacy by osmosis from various different sources, etc. And it's just that some of them have I don't know, some of them have more guts or more will to just pick up that weapon and go do what he did. but I think they just learn, you know, they just learn and pick it up by osmosis from everything. And then he just decided he was one of those people who was just going to pick up the weapon.
That's funny about osmosis.
Yeah, and best believe, I also suspect he was browsing various forums, internet sites like 4chan, where like calling and calling people niggers and promoting just all sorts of insanity is famed and glorified there. And I suspect he will, like Dylan Roof, like Kyle Rittenhouse, like the Columbine folks, he will become a legend in white supremacy lore. And there will be communities following him, you know, making little titles to call themselves, being a part of his legion of supporters. The best believe this is going to come, because this is what racist men and racist women do. They form they become fanatics over these sorts of people. So that's definitely going to happen, for sure.
I hadn't thought about the fact about that could be white worship, right? Them seeking to get glory, not being recognized now, but knowing that their names will go down in history and people will be reading about them. So wanting to make sure that he's not forgotten with such a tragedy.
Exactly. You know.
Yep, they're the new warriors. Like I say, they're the new warriors who a lot of them, some white supremacists are gonna be thinking, yep, these are the new people, the new brave soldiers that are, like I say, gonna be, not too afraid to just take up just forget all this refinement stuff. Forget all this refinement stuff. Look, we got the weapons, let's just gun them down.
I suspect too that he may be harking back to his forefathers in this country who gained fame by killing people all the time. And since I guess he's probably in a position as a white male that sees that he probably will not be known for being skilled in anything, that this is really the only way that he can gain that type of infamy, which is I think what a lot of these white people, or mostly white males, do.
100%. And remember, the gun is I suspect a German pistol, and that's already an homage to the Nazis, who spent a lot of their time and energy killing non-white people for fame and glory, and to practice their form of white supremacy, racism. So, all right, I think we're gonna see where we're going next. This is a clip.
Ruthless conspiracy.
Sent from. Let's actually do a Black self-respect clip. Let me see.
What do all these?
Go ahead. Someone just start. Someone I'm gonna find the Black self-respect clip really quick, because we've been that is something. We get it on the screen. We can talk about that for a bit. And then we can play this clip sent to me by Evolutionists.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, this is a cancellation. I know this is the time of the year where the family members get together, ain't it? Greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, turkey better with the dressing, ain't it? Wonder if I put a little bit of blood on the turkey, would it elevate it? Bloody, bloody, bloody people of color. Cut them, shoot them, burn them, leave them to suffer. This song is not about pilgrims and Indians meeting each other and feasting for supper. This about millions of Indians murdered and villages burning and bleeding for nothing. This about all my descendants in Africa happy and acting like we ain't discussed it. Y'all be saying that ain't the reason we celebrate it. This about giving the glory to God in the time that we spend as a family, ain't it? That was so long ago, we weren't even alive. We gotta accept the changes. Sounding just like the white kids that be saying, forget about segregation. I can't keep embracing the demons. How do we celebrate on the same day of a grievance? Murder and torture and slavery, they was really chopping Indian babies to pieces. Cut off the mama head, yeah, kick it around and play in the street with it. Hold up, did I already say chopping up babies to pieces? Chop up the baby, chop the baby, chop the baby. Grandma looking, that's okay, granny. Watch the baby, eat up the dead bodies. Yeah, yeah, and you thought the cops was crazy. I'm killing everybody. Oh yeah, I'm talking Nazi crazy. More blood than the Holocaust, but y'all still won't call it off. Kill so many Indians, they had to get Africans. That's how we got involved. Then they went and got involved. That's when they got our heart involved. Because of that reason, we made this a black tradition. Tell me who asked for kissing. Ain't we the same people that was marching on Washington for racial equality? Ain't we descendants of civil rights leaders making sure they educated us properly? Ain't we the same people, mad at the same people for making a mockery? Then we invent cancel culture. So tell me why we can't cancel culture. If I put a
bars, Black self-respect bars. This is from I guess Yellow Pain. And this is a lot of truth. Misgivings. I'm sure that was celebrated by many Black people throughout planet Earth. This past on this part of the world known as North America. And yeah, what was said here is all very true. White people do have a history of eating non-white babies, especially black babies, and red babies, and people. You know, we just that's due to the death with Negro. Just read the menticide, I don't think it's menticide, genocide behind European holidays, and just as oh, there's also a document from the law enforcement and FBI involving the court. You can read that document as well, and that also tells about white people having just a ritualistic pattern of consuming people for various reasons. But yeah, this video is very constructive because it uses the medium of rap to send out constructive messages and some truth about these horror days that are known as holidays. Misgivings is not something we should be celebrating anything besides the elimination of white supremacy when it occurs. But yeah, I do appreciate just the realness behind this video. White people traditionally, historically, are mass murderers, and we have I don't know, as a collective, we seem to be have amnesia to that fact that, you know, the people that we worship, the people that we see on TV, the people that we want to be friends with so badly, come from a long line of rapists, murderers, and thieves, and human and people consumers, literally. So black self-respect for this black male here who took the time and energy to produce content like this. Probably not you know, easy. It's not, it just doesn't feel good to see a black baby being dangled over a feasting table, but that's real history right there. Stuff like that really happened, and as far as I'm concerned, it's still happening in 2021. I suspect. Mr. Sir?
Yeah, I appreciate this type of music / noise. I think this is very necessary. I hope that this type of music could kind of be the norm in a way, because it's very energetic. You know, it's very moving. Especially because I suspect the students in these schools now are even have way worse programming, so they're even dumber than my generation. They're not getting access to any knowledge or any truth. And so this type of music is very necessary, so we could kind of counter the kill black people music, which is the norm, and which has been infiltrated by non-black rappers. So now you have non-black rappers white passing Mexicans, white passing people in general, people from India and the Middle East, all rapping and talking about how many niggas they can kill in a day. So I'm hoping music like this could be more popular, and I'm hoping that it could inspire, you know, some throwaways to really start getting the job done in a constructive manner, because it is going to take actions of complete confidence and self-respect to truly make people pay attention, to start working with the elimination of racism, white supremacy. But yeah, this guy is doing the best he can to preach, I guess, the truth. Would have been constructive for him to mention the caramelization of Black people, but you know, Native Americans got eradicated as well. So happy to see it.
Yeah, I second that. I believe what Trajan said is right on. Said is right on the nose. The fact, I don't know what generation this child does come from, but I like the fact that one thing that is true: as soon as people hear conscious music is shut down, ears go off, or it's not really on what's trend in terms of the beat. And what this kid has done, depending on what generation he's from, he's able to get through to them, stop them from ignoring the consciousness of it, because it visually is visually exciting to them. He's using blood or gore. Seems like he's of their age, so he would be your stereotypical in appearance or in terms of attention. He would get like what's this new guy's name? Lil Nas X or something, like how he's being glorified and allowed to be mainstream, and set in the fact that he is an industry baby, just like his music says it is. But with this kid could be that same prototype, but instead he's using it to elevate Black respect and talk about the truth of Aboriginal and white genocide and white supremacy and Black genocide. And yeah, I just think it's we need more like this. Kendrick Lamar definitely, and J. Cole definitely gave this area of light, and is being magnified now by kids like this. Hopefully there's more of it, and if they back it up with good books like Dr. Francis Chris Wilson, like the Code, who knows what we could see coming further in the future. So this is a little glimmer of hope, I would say, for opening up the minds of children. They just need direction after that, because it's not that they're stupid, they're highly intelligent, which is why they're trying to control their minds on their side, versus have their brain computers work for what they're actually here to do, which is to help further free the ancestors' legacy. But with music like this, hopefully they get closer and closer to the right path.
Ms. Williams?
I was sent this video, and when I was sent it, I watched it twice, and it didn't get any better the second time as did the first time. So my VGQ on it will not be like everybody's else, because I don't see it as being constructive. I'm not saying his message was not truthful. His message was truthful. But if I remember when it started that there are Black males with masks on their face going in, terrorizing this family on this misgiving day. Now, to me, there seems like it should be a better way to get a message to people who are still celebrating misgiving. But to me, to terrorize them in such a way, and the blood and the gore with this, it was just, to me, it was too much over the top on trying to get a message. Now, people deliver the message the way they choose. But for me, I didn't share, I shared it with one person just because I wanted to see, am I seeing this correctly? But I see that there are people who would share this and think this is constructive, and they have the right to do that. But for me, I don't see it as constructive. Seeing this as Black self-respect, I don't even see that either. I see this as young people having part of the truth, and instead of using it in a more constructive way without terrorizing people. And this family was, well, the way it looked like they were being terrorized. There were weapons involved, the people out on the floor watching, trying to hide from him. But I think that the greatest message that we can teach anybody about anything that they're not doing is not to terrorize them in it. Because if you're doing that, what are you really doing? Are you doing anything different than what the racist white supremacists is doing to us, is terrorizing us? I think that we should do less on terrorizing our own people and work on a better way of educating them. But that's just my VGQ. I mean,
Would anyone else like to share their comments regarding the clip?
I'd say no reason to celebrate, no reason to celebrate, no reason to celebrate. Not Christmas, not Halloween. We don't need to, take part in some, I don't know, what do you call it, pumpkin lighting stuff, lighting fires and setting off fireworks, etc. We don't need to try and scare each other. The system of racism, white supremacy is scary enough, anytime I do any kind of post or any kind of thing about not celebrating, I know sometimes it's a lot. I mean, if I was to show, I wouldn't even think of showing some of the inbox messages that I get sometimes from some non-white people talking about, what are you talking about? We're not supposed to celebrate. I mean, but it really hits us in a bad way. No, not to celebrate, but I think it's quite obvious at this point for a lot of us who are a little less confused that we should be trying to replace this system of racism, white supremacy with justice. There's nothing to celebrate whilst you're behind the camp wire, like Neely Fuller Jr. says. When you free yourself from that, then you can celebrate. Then you can start. You have your Mardi Gras and your carnival, and and everything like that. But within reason. So yeah, no celebrating.
Did anybody listen to the lyrics of the song other than the chorus? In the song, the whole song itself, this victim is not as ignorant as he would seem on the surface. To put the things he put in that rap, you have to be a reader. I think he read about them heads being kicked around. He had to read something other than general textbooks. And I think I read about that in a book about the Spaniards in the Americas when they were enslaving us. He said it was one of the scenes where he was depicting sitting at a school desk and he was recounting the lies as opposed to what the truth really is. And he said, I just can't take no more of the demons. And I think that's revealing. That is our demons. That is our schizophrenia and our whatever else a racist wants to excuse a system of white supremacy with. Our dis-ease and disorders are having their lies in our minds when those lies are actually, backwards. It's the opposite of what they say is the truth. And that makes us walk around like demons. We're saying we're celebrating because we want to get together with family, but no, we're celebrating killing the babies. We're parading around like murderous white people. We can use any excuse we want to use to deceive ourselves with perverted affections. Perverted affections. That shows you how programmable we are and that we cooperate with the lie over and over and over again and pervert our emotions. Oh, I'm going to feel so good to be around family on the day of a lie. And then you're going to do it again next month on another lie. So those are the demons. This song, look at the metaphysics that he projects in this song. He's saying this is why Black people are crazy. Full of white lies, white.
Were you done, Miss Evolutionist for Justice, or did you mute yourself by accident?
Yep, I gotta quit dropping the mic.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for.
I was gonna say.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say I grew up with a lot of sounds similar to this, music or sounds. I'm not even sure. Some of it was constructive for me, so I'd guess I'd call a lot of it music. Some of it was just sounds. But I don't agree with everything that I heard in terms of people who are classified as Black who took to using this art form that we know called hip hop to express ourselves as to, what racism, white supremacy is in our own interpretation of it, or, what we see it as and what we want to inform other people that are like us, other slaves, on what that system is. I think it can be quite constructive. And I always say, I've never met a single Black person ever in my life that I agree with 100%. but that's the beauty of having a different viewpoint and VGQ. That's why VGQ is so important. And I might not agree with everything that KRS One said, or Chuck D said, or Raz Kaz said, etc. But you know what? I am grateful that they decided to bring that into my consciousness in some sort of way. I'm grateful for their efforts in their fight against racism, white supremacy, in any way that they decided to do it, because what they did was they kept it alive in my mind for many, 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 many years, and I owe some of what I've become today because of those people. That they had their, they had the guts. They took the time and energy to write things like that, to inform people like me, people like me, and they kept it alive in my mind. So yeah, I'd say I'm definitely grateful. Even if I don't agree with what a black person says 100%, that's fine. Because I'm sure not everyone agrees with everything I say, but we all have victims, guaranteed qualification.
Agreed. BGQ is very necessary in reducing petty arguments amongst non-white people, especially Black people, and it definitely allows many learning opportunities when folks share their BGQs on any topic regarding the race war. Okay, gonna keep it in this subject of horror days. So this is the school right next to my my dwelling. They're setting up a Santa Claus. To the left of the woman in the blue purple-ish t-shirt, there are a bunch of small children lined up to get a picture with Santa Claus, Satan Claus. Yeah, this is how the conditioning works, the programming works. What is Santa Claus? I didn't do any further research into to decode this because I didn't want to spend too much time on it. But just the imagery of Santa Claus, you have a fat white man who has a bunch of workers working in factories called elves, and the elves are non-white people, basically his slaves, and they do all the labor producing the imaginary toys he goes out and spreads around to the children of the planet, while he gets all the glory and so-called love for it. And then when you have children, and it's bad, because I recently it was recently communicated to me that Black children are still feeling anxiety or feeling uncomfortable when other Black children tell them that Santa Claus is not real. And many years ago, I told a Black child the same thing: Santa Claus is not real, and they cried when I communicated that reality to them. And that just goes to show you what our victim parents are teaching us, which is nothing of value, nothing of constructive value, no truth, if they're allowing us to participate in going to take pictures with Santa Claus. I know of a attempted mother who definitely communicated to her offspring to say she doesn't celebrate just holidays, especially taking pictures with Santa Claus. So very, very dangerous. Santa Claus is very similar to Jesus. We have people, non-white people, Black people doing a lot of work to get these toys, this material stuff for their offspring during these so-called holidays. And then where does the credit go? It goes to a white person. It goes to a white person who magically delivered these gifts under a Christmas tree for the whole family. And that's why we were setting out these cookies and this milk for them. very retarded thinking, very pitiful. Needs to be eliminated. Just imagine if all the time and energy spent on collecting these Christmas gifts and doing all this Christmas shopping. Just imagine that if that was spent on countering racism, white supremacy. We could probably end the system and in 1 month alone with an effective number of non-white people using correct thought, speech, and action, and not even correct, codified thought, speech, and action, and developing their own counter racist code and their own manner, we could definitely solve this problem. But as long as we're celebrating Misgiving, aka Thanksgiving, and Christmas, aka thank you, fat white man, for giving me these gifts, we're not gonna get anywhere in regards to solving the problem. Racist men and racist women have done an excellent job at retarding us to such a degree where this is what we spend our time on. And it's so I take my dog on a walk, and there's this black victim unit, and they have just elaborate Christmas like decoration, and there's a giant inflatable Santa Claus that they have. And I would think that, okay, at least the Santa Claus is gonna be black, but nope, it's a giant white inflated Santa Claus just bobbing up and down on their front lawn. And I'm like, this can't be good for the mental state of this household. But this is the condition racist men and racist women have put us in. And I'll be my line, see if folks want to chime in about this Christmas.
I just want to say that none of these really economically draining holidays should be participated in by non-white people, especially Black people. I'm quite thankful that my indoctrination into this thing called Christmas, at the very least, my attempted mother did provide a Black Santa Claus and a Black Mrs. Claus to my dwelling. So I was under the impression that these figures were classified as Black. I soon learned that my attempted mother was the Santa Claus. But to hear about the non-white Black people with the white Santa Claus in their lawns just shows the insanity that we're living in. I feel that is a way for them to be closer to whiteness and to make their neighbors more accepting of their Black bodies. Hey, look at me over here. We got a white Santa Claus in our lawn. Look, your kid is gonna benefit from this, from seeing this. So it's very, very, very pathetic. And like I said, it's a way for them to get closer to whiteness.
It's funny. Quite a few years ago, there's a quiz show over here called QI, and it's just stuff about just answering various different questions on this quiz show over here. And the question came up about Santa Claus and what a true depiction of Santa Claus was. And they came up with this artist impression of Santa Claus, and they said that Saint Nicholas, Santa Claus, whatever we want to call him, apparently he was this person who would be classified as Black, right? On this program. I remember looking at that and I was thinking, wow, how deceptive. How deceptive. Talking about this person who was St. Nicholas was a Black person. They said he was from, I think they said he was from Baghdad, Turkey, and he was this person. But I mean, at the end of the day, there is no such thing as a Santa Claus. There's just no such thing as a person that comes down, eases himself down a chimney, eating mince pies or whatever, and giving you presents if you've been good. it's just rubbish. And in a system of white supremacy, that's all they do is just spread lies and spread lies and spread lies. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Just non-constructive. Again, no celebrations, no reason to celebrate.
All righty. Where are we going next? All right. Yeah, we just again, this is another One depicting direct mistreatment in the form of violence. So yeah, be warned.
You full screen?
This platform doesn't have full screen. Yeah, it doesn't have full screen. All right, so we don't need to watch all of it, but what is taking place here is a bunch of white people in Germany. Um, they got tired of the amount of non-white people in their proximity, and they went in there and with bats and other blunt objects and just started welding on them, attacking them, and this is just a small microcosm of what will happen when white people feel that there are too many non-white people encroaching on them, encroaching on the land that they've have stolen, or just the land that they believe that they own and have the God-given right to. This is what will happen. This sort of direct violence, and yeah, this is very organized. You know, you can tell that a bunch of white men. Maybe there's a woman. Maybe there's a woman in this batch, but this group of white people sat down, had a conversation, and probably went like, there's too many sand N words, in this cafe. They think they're running the place now. Let's go teach them a thing or two about who really runs this place. And then without any notice, they pop in the cafe and they just start beating the hell out of the victims of race and white supremacy. And it's tragic that the victims in this video are probably still conditioned, have probably still been trained to be anti-Black as well. So it's just, we're really living in an insane prison system where the prisoners just don't have a clue that they're prisoners. And yeah, just and just even the caption is very racist. A group of soccer fans. See, these are soccer fans, everybody. They're not white supremacists. They're not they're not crazed attackers. They're soccer fans, everybody. A group of soccer fans expelled a dozen or so migrants from their cafe after a football match using clubs, bats, and more. Watch as the migrants run for their lives as the natural-born Germans come from off the CCTV's camera swinging. Natural-born Germans, natural-born white supremacists possibly will be a more accurate term. Not even natural-born, just white supremacists. And migrants, victims of racism. White people have migrated all across the planet, and they're not called migrants ever. So just really, really telling. Any comments?
No, when I was in Germany, I saw a lot of this behavior. Just thank the creator that I was protected from that. But the wording that you bring out is very telling. Natural born Germans. I suspect whoever is writing this is also a suspected white supremacist. But and they're using sports as the buffer versus hey, we don't want these non-white people in our cafe. We're upset. They may have lost the game or won the game. I'm not sure the full story. Whatever happened, it led to non-white people being mistreated.
It's funny actually, 005, when you said about when there's just a little bit too many non-white people around, how sometimes white supremacists act out. It kind of put me in mind. I had like flashbacks of years ago when I was in a tragic relationship with a white female. She was from Austria. And a couple of times I used to go down there and visit her years and years ago. And it was just funny. I was the only person in this Austrian village. I can't remember exactly where it was now. And when I went down there, it felt like I was a bit of a novelty. I was like a bit of a novelty down there, and people would come up and say hello and stuff like that. I didn't even understand what they were saying, but they were just coming up to say hello to me, blah, blah. I even had some instances when I was walking down there. I was the only black person around in that whole place. Some of them hadn't even seen a black person before. And even when we was in, like, if we went to a bar, if I went to the toilet, whatever, I used to have even some of these white males come downstairs while I'm in the urinal taking a piss, and they'll come down there to try and even take a peek. Right, there's just some weird type of shit was going on, and I remember a couple of times when I got back, right, when a couple of times when I got back, yes, it was funny, but it wasn't funny. It's funny, but not funny at the time, right? And I remember when I got back, I was talking to a couple of black associates of mine. They said, "How do white people sort of treat you down there, etc." Right, and I said, "It's funny," and I was quite confused about racism. Not too confused, but still a bit more confused than I am now. And I remember they were saying like, "What? How do those white people treat you down there?" And I was like, "Well, they're okay. They're really curious, etc., etc." And then we was having a conversation. We all agreed on the fact that if I was down there, we'd probably say four other black friends of mine, other black male friends of mine, I suspect the reaction would have been really, really, really different. You come down there trying to do this and that with all white women and stuff like that, it would have been a really, really different reaction. Sometimes non-white people, we tend to fool ourselves if we're the only nigger in the room, and we feel like a bit of a novelty, and we're like Needful Junior says in the code book, don't make yourself the welcome committee or the body jokes for the white supremacists. And that's how they kind of trick us into thinking like, they accept us. Yeah, they accept you because there's one of you. You're non-threatening, right? But if there's more of you, you're gonna have a completely and utterly different reaction.
Yeah, I've detected that pattern that
Unless you live on an island and they got you already programmed. Because we outnumber the white supremacists here, and they get smashed all the time. But most black people here don't drink and shit like that, I suspect. It's a lot of moms and grandmoms and aunts and stuff.
Yeah, I've detected that pattern of experiences as well, where if there's only like one black person, one victim of racism around, yeah, it's not a problem. And especially if they're not familiar with that experience, with that site, it may be even like a sight to marvel at. Oh wow, look at it. Oh wow, look at it. Oh, what is he up to? Are you here on business or something like that? But if it's too many, that's when that genetic inadequacies, that fear of genetic annihilation in the subconscious comes to the forefront, and the behavior changes, gets more violent. Um, okay. So it's a really interesting video here. I'm sure this is in response to the murder of victim of racism, George Floyd. And the message is very interesting and in support of justice, equality, and human rights. If you have a system of justice, you automatically have so-called equality, so-called human rights. But this is just for show, I suspect. If Nickelodeon was really serious about this message, they would be producing shows that promote producing a system of justice, or just producing a show that promote people not being mistreated and Black people not being, again, not being mistreated, teaching non-white people like correct information that they should know. First, that we're in a system of white supremacy, and not once was the system of white supremacy mentioned in this short little broadcast that they did. And is this really the best way that they can support non-white people by doing something like this when this is like a probably $1 billion company? Why don't they say, hey, we want non-white people to get reparations in a form of transportation, housing, education, and health. We're going to start that. We're going to give $1 billion to all the Black people that we can, you know, and then we want all corporations to do the same. You know, that would have been a way more constructive thing to do than to do something like this, because it's just for show. Yes, all people deserve a correct education, a constructive education, which we do not get. Black people are not given constructive education. We are like housed in these schools, which are better, which could be better called indoctrination camps that teaches us to be docile and obedient slaves, not thinkers or critical thinkers or people who are trying to solve problems. So yeah, it's just it's just and Nickelodeon. If you know some things that have happened behind the scenes with this this television station with the white man who was sniffing children's feet, still probably has a job there, and they have a history of hiring people who are on like just sex offender registries and whatnot. So this is not a channel that victims should be watching anyway. But I guess at the time of the murder, victim of racism, George Floyd, this was very common for people, corporations to come out with their pretend compassion towards non-white people. But it didn't really lead to anything because it happened a year ago, and they're not producing any shows that are promoting system of justice. They're not producing any shows that depict strong Black males working with and for strong Black females. So just for show. I just stumbled across it. I thought it was interesting. Any comments?
Maybe non-white people need more of a nudge in the direction of producing more of our own content and portraying ourselves in a way that we want to portray ourselves in a more constructive way. You know, if I could if I could control the white supremacists for a while, I'd force white people to have to black up to portray Black people on screen anytime they want to portray us in these demeaning roles. Like the clip that you showed earlier with the white supremacist male in the with the new kind of the newfangled blackface, like blackface 2.0, whatever, the updated blackface kind of thing. I think white supremacists should be forced to black up and play the roles themselves anytime they want to portray Black people in these demeaning types of roles and stuff. Maybe that might give Black people a bit more of an impetus and a bit of a nudge in the right direction in order to try and, you know, portray ourselves in a more constructive way. But that's only, you know, that's pie in the sky. It's not going to probably happen. But hey, you never know. Here's hoping.
Yeah, I was thinking about how this doesn't really do anything to affect the system of racism, white supremacy. It just gives white people more stuff to complain about. And it's just another act of complacency. And when 0526 brought up how schools, the U.S. K through 12 U.S. education system, it does make docile students, and it definitely does a great job at making Black students um, afraid to talk about race or bring up race because throughout middle school and high school and English classes, I'm not sure how it goes these days, but often you'll read books um, that have the word nigger in it. And there will be times where all the students have to read out loud. And when I would kind of read ahead and I would find all the N word parts. And then I would just go to the bathroom before those parts were read. So I wouldn't have to hear one of these white students read nigger and whatever book it was reading. I want to say it was one of Mice and Men or one of those books. But there's so many, and I'm pretty sure all of them have the N word at some point in time. But yeah, just everything is kind of geared towards keeping Black people complacent and giving white people more stuff to complain about. Like, I'm pretty sure parents were upset with this message, etc.
I see a pattern with these white supremacists, like that like to talk about, well, pretend that they're talking about racism, white supremacy in a wishy-washy sort of way. You know, you got Dixie Whitey, you got Jane Elliott, you got Tim Wise, you got Jolly Good Ginger, etc., talking about this stuff. Anytime they talk about it, the common theme is they're never talking about punishment. They're always talking about coming around and giving Black people a hug, right? People classified as Black a hug and stuff, and we feel your pain, and we're going to talk about racism, white supremacy. They're not talking about punishment. When are they going to start? If they're really talking, what are they going to talk? When are they going to start talking about punishment? Punishment for white people who practice racism, white supremacy. Tell me about that. When are you white people who are talking about ending this system? If you're really serious, why aren't you instigating that? Talk about how you're going to punish your fellow white brothers and sisters, etc., so-called, when they practice racism, white supremacy. I'll take a little bit of listen. I'll be mildly interested when you start talking about that.
Yeah, even solutions. I recall you mentioning they don't mention solutions either to the race problem.
Exactly.
Okay, where are we going next? But all right, I'm just gonna that there's a race soldier who shot a white man in a wheelchair 9 times, and from behind, you know, the white man said he had a knife, and he was going into a store. The race soldier said, "Don't go in there." He started to go in there, shot him 9 times in the back. We don't need to watch it. I just think it's an example of white sacrifice. The cop was immediately, I think he was fired, but we know he's going to end up at some other department if he's not placed in greater confinement. We don't need to watch that one. We will watch some of this one though, not all of it because it's quite long.
I did see some of that, by the way. That I did see that video, by the way, 05, where he shot the nine times in the back, right? And I saw some of the reporting on Fox. I think it was on Fox News, and they were talking the other, like, the superiors apparently in the police force. They were coming out and they were talking about how, yeah, it was definitely an over, definitely an over-exaggerated use of force, etc. But then right at the end, the news reporter, right at the end, he said something about talking about how the guy in the wheelchair just got released from jail in 2018, I think he said, and he was an armed, and he used to, yeah, and he used to be an armed robber or something like that. And we're just right at the end, But and I thought, how's that relevant? How did this guy know that he did that at the time he shot 9 times in this guy's back? And if you actually see the video, I don't know if you have you actually seen the video. This guy, he shot like he shot quite a few rounds, and then the last one there was a massive gap before the last bullet as well. So this guy was in there. I mean, even my mother could outrun this guy in a motorized wheelchair, right? He could have run out, and this guy had a taser. This race soldier had a taser on him as well, and he said, "Well, something about the spread of the taser wasn't going to be sufficient, and he'd asked the guy to comply or whatever, so he couldn't deploy the taser." For why? You could have ran in front of the wheelchair, turned around. He could have shot the guy in the leg. Don't know if he would have felt it if he's paralyzed. I don't know, but then he would have, But there's so many different options that the guy, just out of control. Out of control. And I guess the guy in the wheelchair, if he's classified as white, I think the guy in the wheelchair was classified as white. And I think when he didn't comply with the officer and he had the knife in his hand, and apparently he said to the officer something along the lines of, if you want me to stop or comply or something, you're going to have to shoot me. That person in the wheelchair, he probably thought, look, I'm a white person. I might be in a wheelchair, but I'm still white. This police officer ain't going to shoot me. This race soldier ain't going to shoot me. But then, he was wrong. This is what race soldiers do, that have badges, they're just out of control. So, you could be a white sacrifice too.
Precisely. All right, so this is an example of just the race family, racist man and racist woman working together to practice racism.
We just want to know what your job is and why.
None of your business.
Call the cops.
You gonna call the cops?
Yeah, this is not your apartment.
It's not my apartment.
Yes.
I don't need to tell you anything.
Do you have an ID on you, maybe?
I don't need to tell you what I'm doing because I'm not interacting with you. So call whoever you want to call. Huh? Yeah?
Secure building.
It's a secure building. Okay, so how do you think I got in here?
We don't know.
Did I follow you in here?
That fucking
Dude, seriously? You attacking me? Seriously?
Get that phone out of your
Seriously?
Hey!
What the hell's wrong with you? You stupid?
No!
Try something.
Stop
Try
it!
something.
Stop it!
Try something.
Get
Go
the
ahead.
fuck out of my building.
Try something.
Get the fuck out of my building.
I'm telling you.
I'll call the cops.
Call the
Call the
police.
cops. Call the cops. I got it on camera. You attacked me. Call the cops.
I didn't attack the police. I didn't attack
You didn't attack me? I got it on camera. Call the police right now.
Please.
I'm going to press charges. Go ahead. I'm going to press charges on you. You attacked me. Go ahead.
I didn't touch you.
Why you were here.
All right.
I didn't touch you.
Brother, I'm recording the whole thing.
Did
you
I touch
literally
you?
swung at me. Are you crazy?
What are you doing
It's none of your business.
It is our business.
None
We
of your
live
business.
here.
All right. That should be enough to understand what's going on. And this video is quite long. It's 5 minutes. They were following this non-white, non-black victim of racism throughout this the building where he also dwells. And yeah, it shows you the psychopathology of white people, the immediate anger that this white man experienced, and just attacked him, swiped him, tried to swipe him or his phone away, and then immediately says, "Oh, I didn't attack you. I didn't touch you." And the mother is there, also, it is our business, and then the system of white supremacy, yeah, it definitely is their business to do their job. And their job is to, survey, observe, and control and mistreat non-white people in all areas of people activity wherever they can. And they're choosing to do it here. Very telling. Very telling on how the system works.
They are choosing based on criteria. Listen, if you in your mind are walking around thinking you are in La La Land, dressing like your adversary, trying to talk in your adversary's tonal inflections, walk in an acceptable way, they pick that out. Those are white flags. You are begging to be hopefully assimilated and treated as if you're white. They do not pick guys who already telling you the truth. I remember going to the casino with one of my homeboys. Never laid with white women. He knew I was sucking off of it. We're walking around the casino and everywhere white women flirting with me. And I'm like, is it just me or is it? So I asked him, I said, man, you see these white girls real aggressive. He laughed and said, nigga, it's you. He said, they don't even look at me because they can just kind of see on my face. They better not even fucking think about it. And that's the truth. I believe they pick. When you can hear it in the stories of these Black people who film, and you'll be hearing them, they'll be telling the white person what they can't do or shouldn't do, telling them some form of law or some form of, you can't do this to me because I'm not responding. I don't have to show you any. It shows you they think law is what's written. They think white people practice racism, are looking in the handbook of laws and seeing which ones they can and can't do. Law is what people do. And if you deal with them in a psychology, in a mental mind that says, whatever you do and I don't want done, I'm going to do something to counter you or prevent you from doing. Whatever it is and however you do, even if it's in your reasoning and it comes out of your mouth that you're doing, I'm going to be doing something about it. That's a mentality that goes out in front of you as a victim. And if you don't have it, you're going to be on one of these videos.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, should be motivating folks to learn about the system, what it is and how it works, and just to codify oneself to alleviate such experiences or manage such experiences more, just more better, just better, period.
Yeah, I can. You know what? I completely agree with what evolutionists for justice just said. You could just tell by the way the non-white person was talking. It's almost, you know, it just sounds like he just couldn't believe it was happening. He didn't recognize. He's it sounds like he's very, very confused, obviously, about what racism is and how it works. So he's talking, his whole mindset exists in the parameters of what he thinks those white people think of him. It's like, why are you treating me like this? I'm just like you. Can't you see? I'm just like you. And those white supremacists are just giving him a tap on the shoulder and a reminder, listen, you're not white. You're not one of us, and we don't view you as one of us, and we're not going to treat you like one of us. And yeah, I would say hopefully he understands that now, but I doubt it.
Doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt he understands that right now. That lesson was not strong enough for him.
Yeah, I saw this video a couple of days ago, and I thought the black male maintained his composure quite well.
I don't think it's a black male.
Oh, the black you? Okay, I don't know. I don't know who the victim is. Definitely a non-white person. And if it's not a black male, then that is definitely a hey. Just because you're close looking to us, just because you're closer to whiteness, just because your skin is beige, brown, or yellow, or red, that doesn't mean you can live close to us in this building. They cannot believe that this person lived in the same building. And it doesn't matter if they believe it or not. They wanted to just mistreat this non-white person. And I agree with O5. It definitely takes racist man, racist woman and a racist child. And here we have a prime example of a racist woman and her racist child working together to practice racism, to practice white supremacy simply by, just mistreating this non-white male, antagonizing him, interrogating him, threatening to bring race soldiers to his presence where he could be potentially executed. Regardless of the video footage that he has, he still would be viewed as the primary threat. upon first, contact, I believe. So, very, very unfortunate situation we're living in. But yeah, thanks for sharing.
So the Paul Mooney moment, the wake up nigga, is that a Paul Mooney moment? But I suspect he's still asleep. He hasn't awoken at all.
Tragically so. Yeah, and it's really lame and incorrect that a lot of victims are gonna have to experience some hardcore racism and before they're motivated to do anything about it, because it seems like the racist men and racist women have done an excellent job in conditioning us to the degree where we can watch the George Floyds, the Oscar Grants, the Trayvon Martins, the Breonna Taylors, the Sandra Bland. We can watch these incidents and not want to do anything about it, but when it happens to us, that may motivate us to get serious about doing something to solve the problem. But even then, not, because we have just been placed in such a pitiful degree, I suspect. I hope I'm wrong, but I hope we don't have to experience some hardcore racism, getting slapped on the face with a metal chain by a white person to get serious about solving this problem. We shouldn't have to be accosted by the enemy to want to stop the enemy from harming all of us. But that could be the pitiful degree we have been dominated into by racist men, racist women, and racist child.
As a quick suggestion as well, I'd advise non-white people listening to this broadcast, check out Dr. Welsing's visit to the cows. I think that one was entitled Forgiving Racists, right? Forgiving Racists. And she talks at length about Black self-respect and why it is insane to just repeatedly just go on quote unquote forgiving racists. I think everyone should pay attention to what Dr. Welsing had to say about that and about how insane that is, to just let someone just continue just mistreating you collectively and you just doing nothing about it, and actually just forgiving them as well. It's insane.
All right. Yeah. Check out the cows in general as well. That's such an excellent broadcast to get less confused, to learn a ton of constructive information in context of white supremacy on Black Talk Radio and on the Podbeans. Thousands of broadcasts on the Podbean. Just gonna watch a couple of seconds of this. All right, so this is a group of highly niggerized victims of racism and white supremacy. This is in Colorado. A bunch of people classified as Indians dancing in front of the movie theater in celebration of just a fictional character that they had been allowed to have on the big screen. And yeah, it's just proof that all non-white people have been very, very niggerized, victimized, and are in no position to be celebrating or wanting to celebrate anything, and especially celebrating fictional characters given to you by a group of people who practice the whole caste system, the whole untouchable system. That is, I think, it's very silly. But hey, I'm glad it's not Black people dancing this time, because we're world famous for that. But it just goes to show that the system is intensifying, and even people classified as Indians are super niggerized too. No difference. The only difference is the amount of comfort they are allowed to have versus Black people. But the programming is still in their brain computer to be silly, stupid, and confused.
People have in common in a free and open society. And we are, as a people,
inherently and historically opposed to secret society, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined.
All right, it sounds like he's talking about the system of white supremacy. I don't want to play the whole thing because it's way too long. But from what I've heard, he's talking about the system of white supremacy in a really interesting fashion. I suspect JFK was attempting to practice racism in a way that would have gave Black people more comfort and more, perhaps even access to more resources, which is probably why that the more powerful white supremacists eliminated him. This clip was shared to me by Evolutionists for Justice, but we seem to have lost him. So I would have liked to hear his thoughts on this. But yeah, I don't know. If folks want to chime in, go ahead. Yes, I hate it when I am sent things and the people who send it to me do not comment on them. So for the record. So the title of this video is Police Responding to Home Invasion Brutally Kicked the owner's dog who chased away the thieves. You know, and the first thing this race soldier did was began kicking the shit out of the dog, which is super telling that white people, these race soldiers are really not here to so-called protect and serve. They don't have it seems to be the correct training to treat creatures as they should be treated. I understand that the dog could have been dangerous, but the dog wasn't launching at them, so they could have stayed where they were and communicated with the people in the house that, hey, law enforcement's here. Did y'all call us? What's going on? But no, the first thing he does is he runs up to the dog and starts kicking the hell out of it. And these are the people who are the race soldiers. These are people who are in charge with maintaining the system of white supremacy. Globally, everyone has race soldiers. Besides the countries where most of the law enforcement are non-white people, but these people are very integral into maintaining the system, which is why they're always getting so much funding. Why there's all white people, most white people love law enforcement. Blue Lives Matter. So it's just really deplorable 101, waste of white supremacy 101. They treated this dog like they treat Black people. Very common. Very common.
Brutal.
Like to share. Yeah,
to be expected. I'm not surprised at all.
Ms. Williams?
It's just amazing how a homeowner has a pet to protect his home, right? And probably companionate him as well. Now, I would think that the homeowner should have notified them that they do have a pet that's outside. But whether they did or they didn't, it's really still weird to the point that the race soldier would come in and brutally attack the dog. He could have maced him, he could have done anything, but to brutally kick him like that, and I know the poor dog is injured because look like he's just laying there, right? But it just goes to show you that if you interfere in any kind of way of them doing their job, anybody can go, well, anything can go as well, because they're there to do what they think that they're there to do. But it's just brutal the way that he did this poor pet, because the dog was only doing what a dog does, protecting the home. He doesn't know who the police are. And even though he chased the victim away, he didn't know who could be the next victim, So it's just tragic to see animals being treated that way. I'm mute.
Indeed. Oh, I put a pause to share. Okay, so now we're gonna be looking at some I think that was the last video content. Now we're just gonna be looking at picture decoding some pictures. This looks like this is from Reddit, but this looks like something that was posted on a once upon a time a white supremacist forum called 4chan, which is now a subreddit on Reddit full of a bunch of people practicing race and white supremacy. So it says, be on patrol in Iraq. V-Vibe explodes a few blocks away. We go to secure the area and I, a medic, go treat casualties. Platoon sergeant is with me. He points to a smoldering buttocks attached to nothing else. He points to a smoldering buttocks attached to nothing else. Looks at me and says, check out that hot piece of ass. Women are on their knees throwing sand over their shoulders to mourn. I'm laughing so hard, I have tears running down my face. So if this is accurate, if this is a real incident that happened, then it's very grotesque and incorrect, of course. There is some sort of airstrike or some sort of explosion that happens, and the military goes to assist allegedly, and there's a dismembered body part smoldering, it seems, and a sergeant makes a joke about it, and the medic starts laughing, laughing while women are mourning the loss of probably males and females, non-white people, I suspect. Yeah, non-white people for sure, at least classified as non-white. So yeah, the war, soldiering is fun for white people, I suspect. They don't mind the blood and gore, especially if it's not on their sides. Yeah, I can't imagine seeing something like that and laughing at something like that. But my silly is not that of the Yoruba. Yeah, it's just really bizarre if this is correct, if this is accurate information. Any comments?
I don't have much to say about this. It is interesting, but I already suspect a lot of white males who go into the military go in there for moments like this to kill. So to be expected.
Yep, exactly. All right, it says, I remember the staff at our public school. Oh, he kissed me. Why? I was just expressing a healthy sexual curiosity. This is from the film Annie Hall. And this is Woody Allen, a very, very famous pedophile who is still loved by racist men and racist women everywhere. Yeah, and this is in a, yeah, so yeah, the whole films where he's having arrangements with very, very young women, and that's pedophilia 101. You know, they groom them. They like them young because they're really not that mentally mature or understanding that they're being used as an energy source by the racist man. Um, super crazy that he had like films being produced like this where he's sexually molesting children, and they're calling them jokes. You know, I guess the scene he kisses this person, this child, and you know, they're like, let's laugh about it. We can only imagine what went on behind the scenes. If anyone is familiar with Hollywood, you should know that that place is a place where not many correct things are happening. Glisdale Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, to say the least. We have here All Lives Matter, and a white man and blackface. For some reason, just picture I stumbled across. Don't know what the context is besides it just being really racist. Oh, and also they have the little racist child slanting his eyes. You know, so I guess it's an attack on. This is a racist propaganda attack on Black people and so-called Asian people. And of course, racist family. It takes racist man, racist woman, and racist child to maintain this system. You know, we must be on alert of all three. All three are very dangerous. And this is Wi-Fi. This is someone's Wi-Fi name. Nigger Slayer. You know how you can name your Wi-Fi if you choose to do so. In my dwelling, there was a Wi-Fi name called Fuck Tramps, and I guess this individual here decided to name their Wi-Fi Nigger Slayer. So very, very, very telling where their mindset is. And the final picture is this one. The Reagan family with Serena and Venus Williams. You know, they will racially showcase and pretend to be friendly with some Black people while at the same time writing legislator that gets rid of the constructive help Black people were receiving in the form of like mental institutions, in the form of much needed resources in the form of food and money. So yeah, and this image may confuse a lot of people that say, hey, Reagan, yeah, they were kind to Black people. They like Black people. Look at this picture, you know. But no, this is racially showcasing. This is highly deceptive. And this is posted in a subreddit called Old School Cool. And nothing cool about Ronald Reagan and his wife, which a lot of people have referred to Ronald Reagan as a devil for all the incorrect things he has allowed to happen and has promoted as well. So very, very, very telling. And yeah, that is the last of the. Oh, actually, yeah, I did say I was going to play this one. I'm going to take the risk. I have it sped up, so hopefully it doesn't get detected. But another video I've had on the backlog for a while, and I would like to get it out there, get it documented. So we're just gonna watch it, and it will be our final content.
Want Snickers. Nobody fucking wants Snickers. No one wants Snickers! I'm sorry, you are so fucking dark that you can't fucking, you're so hot. But you can't get anybody. You're not. You want to so ruin someone Kendall's life. You can fucking rot in hell. You fucking made them leave. You dark ass nigger. Fuck you. Dark ass chocolate bar. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm sure you fucking can't get anybody because nobody likes niggers. Literally no one likes niggers. Nobody likes some. No one likes some. Fucking kill yourself right this time. Do it fucking right.
Please,
Cut deep enough. Cut deep enough this time. Or fucking tie the rope higher. Like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Fuck yourself. Fucking kill yourself. You made fucking Ken on Summer League. Fucking kill yourself.
All right, again, racist man, racist woman, and racist child. You know, Obama incorrectly said that this generation, they're better. You know, they're better than we were, and I don't see that. I see white supremacy alive and well, still very, very powerful, still very awesome, and conditioning and producing racist, suspected racist, just like this. Well, I'm not gonna call her a suspected racist because the evidence is right here. This white supremacist child here, not much older. I mean, not much, probably around the same age as Ethan Crumley. You know, so this is what they think of people classified as black. People they've classified as black, non-white people. It seems like she's encouraging a black female to kill themselves, or this may have, if I remember correctly, this is involving some sort of actually I didn't want to spread misinformation, but you know, just take this video for what it is, which is racism 101. We are many people will see such a white child and be like, oh, she's so innocent, she's so sweet, you know, but the inside that white person's mind, you know, they're seeing a dark-skinned nigger who should be rotting in hell, and this is how that system works.
No, wow. I think I don't I saw this somewhere. I can't remember where, but I suspect that they were sending this video to black kid after school. I suspect because it seems like it's directed at a particular person. And this is how most white people think, if not all white people think about black people. And all non-white people, just a bunch of unwanted humans, you know. What's the white supremacist saying? Don't breathe my air, you know. So these little girls are very racist. Their parents are definitely racist. That's the only way for them to be at this state. So yeah, and then also very confident. They're laughing, having a good time. They're making fun of it, and the folks that refine racism, white supremacy will be very proud. You know, they wouldn't be too happy about the information being public. They much rather keep this under wraps. But when it becomes exposed, it could easily just be another template for, hey, this is what racism is. Not what we're doing in the education system, not what we're doing in the entertainment area, not what we're doing in the religious area. This right here. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's racism, white supremacy, but you know, at the end of the yeah, I'm gonna stop there actually.
Yeah, and again, I don't see her wearing a KKK hood. I don't see her wearing a swastika anywhere. But yeah, this is why we should suspect all white people are being suspected racist. This is why, because there's no way for us to tell which one is a racist and which one isn't. So we should be suspicious of all white people until the problem of racism and white supremacy is solved.
Exactly.
I'll give a chance for closing comments, and then we could dab out of here.
Okay, I'll close with my statement I was going to say about this young racist female behavior that was taught to her. She definitely wasn't born with this behavior, but it's amazing the type of things that white people do for entertainment, working to abuse non-white people by verbal assault or talking. But I'm assuming that she's either in a background with other white females because she's definitely not talking to a non-white female by herself. She's definitely not doing that because she'd have got the worst beat down ever. So she's probably with a group of people and they're making fun of this non-white female. So they're always going to travel in groups. They're not going to do things one-on-one because they know the precautions that's going to happen from that. But my closing thought is, until racism, white supremacy is eliminated, it's my duty to produce justice, balance between people. I must codify my thoughts, my speech, and my actions to seek the effective numbers to replace racism, white supremacy for the evolution of the universal man and universal woman. Black lives matter too. I mean,
Sarah, would you like to share?
Closing comments. A great collection of media to decode. Always a blast to be on the show. I look forward to the day racism, white supremacy is replaced with justice. Until then, I'll continue to study, research the many incomings of more school shootings, more police killings, and more mistreatment of non-white people across the globe.
Thank you, Ms. Williams, Mr. Sirrett. Yeah, I hope this information motivates victims of racism, non-white people globally to go to producejustice.com, pick up your copy of the code book, and just consume more counter-racist material and spread counter-racist material to victims everywhere. We do not need to be dominated, subjugated, mistreated in this manner. No one does. We could solve this problem overnight with an effective number of victims using the correct terms to describe what's happening on planet Earth. We often do not describe what's happening on planet Earth accurately. So please do as I just mentioned, and if this was of constructive value, please like, comment, and share it. This account, this YouTube channel, CRWS, is very nigger banned, aka shadow banned, meaning that it's very hard for folks to stumble across this information organically because white racist men and racist women do not want this information like this being produced or shared on their platforms. And I don't have the need to create my own platform to the that could compare to YouTube. So do your best to share this information, please. And thank you for your audience, and CRWS signing out. All right, so I'm about to send you those videos you asked for right now. Thanks, Ms. Williams, for participating.
no problem. My duty. Thank you, guys. See y'all later.
You. Will do. Yeah, Trey. I have no clue. Probably on. Oh, this is all my history of videos. Yesterday, me and Z, we were playing Fortnite, and we just having a rough night, yo. Just losing back to back. And then the last game we played, like we were hiding in the house, and then Batman comes up the stairs and kills Z. And then it's just me versus 3 people, right? I killed a Batman, and then I kill some anime person, and then I killed Boba Fett for the clutch. It was crazy. Like I recorded it. I'll show you one day, but it was a very clutch moment right there. Yeah. You found it, Ash? You found a lighter? Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you can find it easily, yo. Just Google cop kills man in wheelchair. Because it's not in my history anymore.
I have a pause right here, actually.
Oh, so you don't even need me to find it. Yeah, I'm gonna see this bonus clip. I'm gonna see this bonus clip that I'm gonna see you a bonus clip right now. I may play this one for the next rips, but I just thought it's just too much of a negative image towards Black people.
Where the fuck is the video? It's just showing the news. I want to see the fucking body count.
Oh man. Oh, you should see my friend. Netflix now? It's on Hulu.
The guy killed her? Little girl? How do you make burgers from the turkey?
Or
how do you make it stick together?
Stick automatically. Hey, who wants one?
I'll take one. But I thought you had to add like
Cops in GTA R.I.P. are better than this fucking cop. Have more restraint than this cop.
egg to it.
Just get it.
Are you watching Netflix like that?
Yeah, I watch I gotta die and touch
Okay, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he's the real, it's
Wow.
two patties now for you over here. Yeah, I really got this. This is not creative on there.
We're probably going to be living underground. Dennis Leary style.
What? This is so crazy, man.
It's so funny, yo.
What is it?
It's so funny.
The video, man. The fucking this is so insane.
Oh, when I just sent you?
No, the I watched this video like the one I found the video of the cop. It's not I want to see his body cam, but it's his partner's body cam. I mean, I'm watching what you sent me right now. I already look gay. I can't even see anything. Bro had. Let's see what this is.
Shit. Voice already. Am I still live? I wouldn't be surprised if I'm still live.